Hello, my name is Michael. I'm going to teach you how to manipulate. There are two conditions in order for you to continue. One, you must not be Belgian. You must not be born in Belgium. You must not live in Belgium. And two, you must have read the Apocalypse, or the Revelations of Johannes, the last book of the Bible. The first reason, I'll tell you why, because Belgium is the most fascist state there is. The Second World War actually never ended, but continued, especially here in Belgium, also in the rest of the world. We are being manipulated by a small elite of people who control everything, and they also control us. And that is not nice. And Belgium is one of the fourth wealthiest countries in the world, and it's so tiny. That must ring a bell. Now, number two, you have to have read the Apocalypse, because I'm going to refer to the Apocalypse in this settings a few times. Okay, that's all. If you have the two reasons, you can continue, otherwise turn it off. Apa, asumber de kapa, asumber de stasurtafu. Astambarda osen, Afrika osalesun, asuna de sartasu fatasu, de kapernal setta fatnaisur ne. Afnelser kesun, asasuvasau, as nu per de zesna, afertissen en de do, afarne usetto, atussen de kapas asun. To manipulate comes from the Italian word manus, and that means hand. So the hand is very important in order to learn to manipulate. There are people who say they are telepathic, and that could be. Maybe I am also, but I'm telepathic at a different frequency. Now, if you have read the Apocalypse, there is something mentioned that's called the mark of the beast. This is a scar on your forehead. I hope you have a scar on your forehead, because then you have the faith. Then, there are two important things you must take into account in order to start to manipulate. First, there are multiple dimensions, and up to the fifth dimensions you have in your hand, have in your control. Number two is that there are 5 periods in life that constantly play a part in your life. So the Apocalypse is ongoing, it's developing. And ancient Babylon, mentioned in the Bible, is located in Belgium. And that is why the fascists have taken over Belgium. And Belgium is full of losers. They lost their faith. They had the mark of the beast on their forehead, and they lost it because they were told certain information they were not allowed to be told. There is mention of a scroll written on the in and outside that was given to the Lamb of God. It was a bitter taste in his mouth, and so on. That scroll is what you can see on my chest. I'm not going to explain that, maybe later. But so up to the 5th dimension you have in your hand. I'm going to explain that to you, and I'm going to make a little sketch in order for you to be able to understand better. I have to start with 0 dimensions, and 0 dimensions is a point. Now, a long time ago, there was nothing more than just a point full of energy, and that point exploded, boing, and formed more dimensions. It was called the Big Bang. Now, you can place this point in the center of your hand. Then, as man, you are also a point of energy. And you can draw a line between yourself and the Big Bang, because you originate from the Big Bang. And the line is 1 dimension. To illustrate, this is a point, the Big Bang exploded, and this is 1 dimension. Then the second dimension, I am also a point of energy. I can draw a line between myself and the Big Bang because I also come from the Big Bang. And now I can also draw a line between you and me because we are communicating. Now, mankind is two dimensions. Mankind is a surface, a flat surface full with points, and every point is a man. Then you have the third dimension. It's your middle finger. Now you have a choice. You can draw the third line. You can say length, width, height, or you can say length, width, depth. It's a choice. I'm going to make that choice for you. I'm going to draw the third dimension like that. Because mankind is not alone as being a representative of energy, but there are many different kinds of energy. So many plants, so many animals. Also, things that they say they don't have a soul are also energy, condensed. Einstein, E equals mc squared. So these three dimensions are constantly in motion. And that adds a dimension, the fourth dimension, time. Time you sense with your senses. You see, you hear, you feel, you taste, and you sense. Time is represented as a circle because a circle continues infinitely and everything always comes back. Now, also, if you look at a day, the sun comes up at the horizon, it rises to the sky, and then it lowers back to to go behind the earth and come back the next morning. Also, a year is a circle. At a certain point in a year, the sun reaches its highest point, and that is around the 1st of August. The lowest point the sun reaches in the sky is the 1st of February. And then the 2 points in the middle are the 1st of May and the 1st of November. So now you have the fifth dimension, and that means you have to make choices as man, because you have a will, you want things, and you also have an intuition, an inner voice. Don't listen to voices in your head, but sometimes you have to listen to your own voice, yourself. Don't let yourself be manipulated, because you have time, you have space, you are in contact with other people, and you come directly from the Big Bang. Now, the choices you make, you will always make the best choice for you. Want to make your life perfect. Now I have to make this sketch also perfect, and then I have to draw this line to represent the fifth dimension. That was 1. Now the second thing you must take into account are that there are 5 periods in your life that constantly play a part. I'm also going to draw a little sketch in order for you to understand better. The first period in life is located in the center of your hand, and that is a helpless period, because first you are unborn in your mother's womb, helpless, then you are born and you lie there. You cannot move around because you are too little. I also represent that as a point. I hope someone is there to feed you so you can grow, and then you can come into the second period. The second period is when you start crawling around on the ground. That is located at the edge of the palm. the third period, at the base of your fingers, at a certain period you pull yourself up and you start walking on the ground, like that. Then you have the fourth period in your life, and that is nothing more than the time you still have left before you. Now you walk on the ground, and because you go forward, you have a future, but you also have a past. And you grow, but you also plant yourself. The fourth period in your life is that you go to bear your cross. Everyone has his cross to bear. And then you have the fifth period in life, and that is the shortest period. It is death. Then the circle of life has ended. A little bit more about those 5 periods in your life. When you are helpless, your subconscious is formed. When you crawl around, your conscious is formed because you start to learn what is there in the world. When you walk on the ground, on your 2 legs, it's the practical period in your life, because man is a practical human being. I will illustrate that with an example. A small child sees the cookie jar, but he cannot reach the cookie jar. But he sees a chair. He pulls the chair towards the chest, he crawls on the chair, and then he can reach the cookie jar. The fourth period in your life, time you have before you, is the mental phase, because you think about what you are going to do with the time you still have left. And then you have the last period in your life, death, and that is a spiritual experience. But there is another spiritual experience, also important in life, and that is sex. And when you come, you also say, "Ah," and also a circle is completed. So 5 dimensions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 periods in your life, from the inside to the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 5 is 25, and that is a matrix. Probably seen the movie. Well, you have to add 1 point because you have 0 dimensions, and that makes 26. There is something else you know of 26, and that is the alphabet. There is an alphabet located on your hand with different sounds that are also important. But that is something for the next lesson. Life is a continuation of moments, and each moment is a spiral that starts deep inside your hand. Then you become helpless, you crawl, you walk, you have time before you, and you have death. And this is the last moment in your life. Then you see your maker, so they tell me, and then you let go of life and you are dead. So life is a spiral. It starts, nothing more than that. So it has a beginning and an end. So this is the end, and the beginning is deep inside your hand. So, and this is the point in the middle. This is the now. This is the moment you experience. But in that moment you have a future that's before, and you have a past that's behind you. So there is an alphabet on your hand, and the people who manipulate you know that, but they do not have the mark, and that is their problem, not mine. In order to illustrate more, I'm going to tell you about the vowels. If you know the meaning of the vowels, then you have a problem. Someone is manipulating you. If you do not know the meaning, then you're one of the good. The vowels are located at the edge of the palm. When you call, and if you have vowels and you only know is the vowels, and you call, you are calling for someone that is manipulating you. So the vowels Here is the I. Here is the E. Here is the U. Here's the O. And the A. And that is said to be the unpronounceable name of God. Yehovah, Yehovah, Jehovah. Right. Those assholes that keep waking you up Sunday morning. They want to make you part of the slaves. Thank you. That will be it for today. Next lesson is coming on, and then we are going to explore more about the alphabet in your head.